I'm Jay Farner, CEO of Quicken Loans, America's premier home purchase lender. We've created a new way to protect you from unpredictable interest rates. Our exclusive Rate Shield approval. First, we lock your interest rate for up to 90 days. Then, if rates go up, your rate stays locked. But if rates go down, your rate drops. Either way, you win. Call us today at 800-QUICKEN or go to rocketmortgage.com.
Rate Shield approval only valid on certain 30-year fixed-rate loans. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLS number 3030. Additional conditions or exclusions may apply.
Batman, you son of a bitch.
Now, what's that smell? Just like cornbread done too well. What you need, you know I got. So hands up, who wants to rock?
Yum, yum, breakfast burrito. It's the Metal Hammer of Doom, Metal Faithful. And I am your host, the Mandated Reporter, and frankly, I'm mortified, Mr. Mark Rattledge. And love him, love him, love him. He's a cat. Ladies and gentlemen, the second chair has returned to claim his throne. And he's got stories to tell, mostly that'll distract from our actual album review. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Robert Cooper, the Metal Coop. How do you do, sir?
Well, you know, it's ironic that something loves me because, I had a good date on Saturday, and it went well.
Uh-huh.
But not well enough for me to get a second date.
Dude, you are the man of 1,000 first dates.
Yeah, and about 500 second dates, but exactly 0 third dates. That's weird, right? Like, I never get a third date.
Yeah, some might say it's you. But for the sake of the show, we'll say it's the girls. Bitches be whores, Robert Cooper. Bitches be whores.
These hoes ain't loyal. In the words of one Chris Brown.
No, they ain't. And ladies and gentlemen...
Actually, nah, she was actually really sweet. It was just we didn't click, you know. It's all good.
I understand. Ladies and gentlemen, he's a cat flushing a toilet. And he's also in charge of the music tonight. Love him, love him, love him. He's also a cat. It's Jesse Starcher.
Well,
how do you do, sir? Meow.
Let me tell you, Perry Grip has got plenty of play on the old radio. Whether it be in the car or at the homestead, the Starcher boys are asking for either it's raining tacos or nom 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 nom. Now here's the thing, Mark.
Yes, sir. We've
talked about video games plenty of times, okay?
Uh-huh.
And children and video games and all that. Has Jonas asked for the Roblox yet?
No, he don't know what no Roblox is. He is pretty well singularly focused on the Mario Brothers universe right now. Second to that, I would say, would be the Lego games.
Okay, that's fair. I think Perry Grip made his appearance in our house through Roblox. Now, Roblox is a game. Man,
when someone writes the biography of Jesse Starcher, there has to be an entire chapter on how Jesse wouldn't know any music if it weren't for video games.
For us.
Jesus Christ, dude.
That's the truth. That's pretty spot on.
Have you ever heard of Madonna? Was she in Grand Theft Auto? Because otherwise, no.
Possibly in Vice City, maybe. But anyway. Yeah, so there you go, Mark Rattledge. And then it's so funny because you're the one that first told me the name of this artist. And then sure enough, I play like 3 songs. The kid's like, I've never heard of this guy. And then we hit the Nom 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 song. And Sir, Perry Grip is quite popular here. And speaking of cats, who are we talking about tonight? What band are we going to be reviewing?
Oh, Big Tings, Jesse Starcher. Finally, it's here. We have been plugging Big Tings for a long time, and I don't care what you say, Robert Winfrey, you and all your not liking moviness. If it's the band has an album called Big Tings, then we're going to say Big Tings, and we're going to say it as many times as it needs to be said, because Big Tings is, in fact, Big Tings. And, of course, the band that we'll be reviewing tonight is Skindred. They're a reggae metal band from Great Britain. This is their, I believe, 7th studio album, and it was released April 27th. So I had heard of Skindred when they released their cover of Electric Avenue, which I believe was on Shark Bites and Dog Fights, as we talked about on the Metal Hammer of Doom Extra. And I didn't pay him much mind beyond that. I mean, I love the cover, but they just didn't reach me beyond that, and I never went to pursue any of their other stuff. So I saw they were releasing an album this year. I said, you know what? Let me give these guys a try. You know, I really like Electric Avenue. So let's see how it is. And as it turns out, this has probably been one of my favorite albums of the year to cover. I really can't wait to talk about it. So, you know, look, Robert Cooper's back, and when Robert Cooper's back, he's always got a story to tell. So we're going to interweave 1,000 tales, 1,000 wabbit tales from Mr. Cooper, along with talking about Skindred's Big Tings. Big Tings, Jesse Starcher. Are you ready for some Big Tings?
I'm ready for that fucking bit to be over. That's what I'm ready for. Jeez,
wait a minute.
Months on end.
Are you saying that I may have beaten a bit into the ground?
Never.
Come here, horsey.
He beat the Big Ting into the ground.
All right, just let's go round robin here. Jesse, you ever heard of these jamokes before?
As a matter of fact,
What video game was Skindred in that turned you on to him?
No. A friend of mine who he's a little bit of a metalhead himself. He introduced me to their. Nobody had hit the airwaves. Now, when I say nobody, that was the name of the song. Skindred did a song called Nobody, which I think came off of their first album. Babylon. Yeah, it came off of Babylon from 2004. And he's like, man, you got to listen to these guys. And he really raved about the whole album. Now, the problem is I never listened to the album. But there was a lot of times that I heard Nobody on the radio. And it's a pretty catchy song. Now, the thing is after that, they dropped off the radar for me. I don't even recall anything off the rest of these albums. We had the chance to go through the Metal Hammer of Doom extras and do what was it? It was Stand for Something. Never heard that one up till then. And then Kill the Power, which never heard.
The power, hear it.
Hear it now. That apparently is the second most listened to song here, most popular song on Spotify. So, yeah, Skindred, I know of them, never listened to a lot of them.
Cool.
I remember them from my playthrough of Blitz the League.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, they were on the soundtrack.
There it is. Everyone take a drink.
I never played that game. I really wanted to. I remember Blitz for 64. Played the shit out of that. Oh my gosh.
Blitz League was great. It was a bunch of fake teams that they made up, and you could injure people, and there could be you could do dirty hits, which knock the stamina off of players.
Steroids. There were steroids too, right?
There were steroids, hookers. Yeah, and the best thing about it was one of the injuries available in the game was ruptured testicle.
That's wonderful.
I hate when I rupture my testicle.
So do all the prisoners.
Boo.
Because that would mean that you busted a nut.
Oh, how we've missed you, Coop. Anywho. All right.
Things set me for 600.
All right, so let's get into Big Tings here, Jesse Starcher. Big Tings, you ready?
I'm ready. All right, let's get rocking and rolling. This is going to be the first song off the album, and it's titled. What is it titled, Mark?
Big Tings.
Oh God.
Nice fade out. You with us, Jesse?
Damn toggling. How do you... I need another monitor.
What happened there, bud? How much time do I need to give you before you can hear us and talk and everything?
No, I can hear you guys. I think I can hear you guys just fine.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, I can hear you guys just fine. It's my end that's playing the microphone or playing the stuff over the mic. So, in other words, you won't be able to hear me. So you guys hop right in there and start talking. I should be able to hear you just fine.
Okay. All right, so that was our lead track, our title track off this album. You know, it's a great song. It's a really fun song. Here's the thing. What made Skindred is the reggae stylings of the singer. And here, you don't get that as much. I mean, I can say Big Tings all I want, but, you know, just because they can't pronounce H's in the Caribbean doesn't necessarily make it reggae. So that being said, like, I really like the song. There's a lot of really booty shaking danceable tracks on here, and this is definitely one of them. But I would not say it's his strongest reggae sound. Like, if I were to play Skindred for somebody and be like, hey, do you know what reggae metal sounds like? Check this out. This wouldn't be the song I would play. What do you think, Coop?
I mean, yeah, it's a solid song. Maybe not the best thing I've ever heard, but I mean, it was decent. It's catchy. I feel like it can kind of stick around for that fact, but like, yeah, like if I'm like, here's reggae metal, this is not what I'd be like. All right, guys, here it is. Sit down.
Here's your reggae metal instructional. Jesse Starcher, what'd you think of Big Tings?
Big Tings, the title of the meme of the last month.
Somebody comments on this. Like, if you guys said one Big Tings one more time, I was gonna find where you live and kill you.
We would, if there is anybody that's a fan of the network, we would have got that email already, like about 3 weeks ago. So yes, well, you know, you're right. I don't feel a whole lot of reggae stylings here. I mean, this feels just like a real good, kind of like a rock album or rock anthem. Excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
It's fun. It's not extremely heavy. I saw one review that said that you notice that this sets the tone, but there are definitely some differences compared to what's come before with Skindred, which, you know, we got to listen to. The first song that we got to listen to off of this album was one that you shared, which is the next song. But the first thing I noticed was that, well, this kind of doesn't feel like the Skindred that I know. So as to whether that is something that continues throughout the album, obviously you're going to find out as you listen with us. But you know, it doesn't really... I like the song. Compared to the rest of the songs on this album, I think this is probably one of the, at least in the top half for sure.
All right.
In my opinion.
So this next song is, as I've called it, the Metal Hammer of Doom anthem. This is your party girl song. This is in case if you've got a cat that's walking the streets at night. This is the jam that he listens to. I love this song. This single-handedly puts Skindred in the top 5 for me. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, did I telegraph you having to toggle enough, Jesse? This next song is our second track of the night. This is That's My Jam.
You're a freak for the rhythm, slave to the game. And now I got you in the palm of my hand. Get automatic, erratic. Your moves are automatic. You're a freak for the rhythm, slave to the game. That's my jam. That's my jam. That's my jam. Something takes a hold of my mind. 3 seconds time, I'm about to read love singing. Yeah, you shake it so fine. Because when you move it slow, my bones start shaking. You move it so I can't stop. Because you're a freak for the rhythm, slave to the game.
I dig any song that is about the love of music. I am a big fan of The Rhythm Is Gonna Get You, The Rhythm Is Gonna Get You Tonight. And so, any song that truly celebrates the sound of music, not the musical, but the sound of music and how important it is and how it affects you, and how it moves you, I'm going to get into. And not to mention the fact that this is one catchy fucking tune. It's one of my favorites of the year so far. I mean, it takes a lot to knock Rumahoy off its pedestal, but Skindred has done it. It's right up there with the sword for me. That's My Jam is my jam. Coop?
That's my jam is my jam. Look at you.
Aren't I adorable? Don't I look like myself?
You're just a peach. Yeah, I mean, it's a really fun song. Again, I don't necessarily know, I guess, how deep I would really find the song, but I do dig it. I like it. It's fun.
No, it's as deep as a fucking puddle full of piss. But, or what does Jim Cornette say, a plate full of piss?
A plate full of piss?
Yes. It's as deep as a plate full of piss.
When did piss come in a plate?
All right, I don't want to talk about this. Jesse Starcher.
Is that
That's My Jam your jam too?
I said it before, and I'll say it again. I think this is the top single of the year so far on the Metal Hammer of Doom. There are a lot of great songs, but my goodness, if there's anything that's going to get a lot of radio play, but get me smiling at the same time, and maybe even some hot chicks, booties shaking, this is going to be the song. This is it. This is the one that everybody goes to the Skindred concert to listen to. They're waiting for this to be broken out.
Yeah.
This is the highlight off of this album, in my opinion. This is the one song that really sells it for me. Unfortunately, I think this song outshines the rest of them so much. It's kind of like, they're like, we got to try and live up to that. And they really hit, in my opinion, a gold mine with that song. And sometimes a band has got to try and recover from, having such in my opinion, a pretty big hit, or at least a great tune that the album may not be able to live up. I don't want to call them a one-hit wonder because they're not. But if this would have been like the first song or the one song off of their first album, I could see Skindred slowly fading away into obscurity because there's no way to live up to this.
That's the thing. Like, this speaks to the mainstream more so than any of their stuff ever has, I think. Even their cover of Electric Avenue. Like I said, there's a woman I work with. I talked about her on the Metal Hammer of Doom Extra. I'll pass by her desk and she'll be playing like Godsmack or Shinedown or something. Really mainstream stuff. And she even knew that's my jam. I was playing Skindred at my desk. She's like, "Is that Skindred?" I'm like, "Yeah." And she literally like swiveled her hips and she's like, "That's my jam. We're in a jail, okay? We're in a jail. She's a nurse, and she took time out to swiggle her hips. She moved that vajayjay and she just belted out of "That's my jam." That's how much that song affects people.
So wait, the song is like getting mainstream radio appeal.
I mean,
I don't know. I can't say that it's. I was going to say I can't say on my end that it has been played on the radio because I don't listen to the radio anymore. But I'll tell you right now, it definitely feels like something that should be on the radio. Well, we know it's definitely the single that they dropped, right?
Yeah, it was actually their third single, and they've got a video for it, which Jesse and I commented on the Metal Hammer of Doom Extra when we had lots of fun with that one. But they released that one April 17th, and I would tell you that if Sirius XM is a thing. Liquid metal is a thing. In fact, they might not even just be liquid metal. It might be turbo or some of the other heavier rock stations on Sirius XM. And a lot of people that's where they get their music from is satellite radio. And this is probably, and I don't have figures in front of me, but I'm guessing this has gotten a lot of play on that because she wouldn't have known about it otherwise. This isn't a person chasing indie music. This is a person who is listening to mainstream and somehow or other knew fucking "That's my jam."
It was her jam.
It was her jam. It's everybody's jam. All right. Speaking of singles,
Only was the Jelly Jam.
Oh, I've told you about the Jelly Jam. Do we need?
I know.
Do we need to discuss the Jelly Jam again? Because I'm all about the Jelly Jam. Because God knows I love a good gimmick. Anyway, this is the first single that was released. It was February 16th, 2018. This is, Jesse, are you ready? This is Machine. Okay, so I'm noticing a pattern with this particular Skindred album that they decided to be very unskindredy. I mean, it's great stuff. I'm loving this album, but as a hard rock album, with some punk stylings in the guitar work, I'm digging it. But again, like the big selling point for Skindred, the novelty, the thing that sets them apart is that reggae sound, and that is utterly absent in these first three songs.
It's not there. I just want to throw this out there because you may see the influence on here after I mention this band, but one of the review sites that I read talked about how Brian Johnson used this as one of the intros. Nabbed it as an intro and outro theme to his TV show Cars That Rock.
Oh,
So,
really?
yeah, so this is...
I can see that.
Can you see the AC/DC influence there? I mean, I feel... I can hear it almost in his voice, even.
Yeah.
So, Coop, what do you think?
I mean, I thought it was solid. I thought it was a kind of just solid hard rock track. It wasn't really anything to write home about, but yeah, it was fun. It was fun. Almost went as well as my sister's possible wedding.
Oh,
okay. I
boy,
know
oh,
you've
boy.
been aching to fucking tell a story.
Oh,
We
so
gotta hear about
hit,
this.
hit it.
Oh,
Hit it, Darren.
All right, so yeah, like she was totally supposed to get married. It was great at 18, which is fan-fucking-tastic.
Oh boy.
Oh yeah. I put
They've
in
been
my
dating
time
for
off
years, right? They've been dating for years.
7 months.
Oh, fuck.
Awesome.
Yeah, no, he was just moving in so he could help pay the rent because his parents wouldn't let him move in with a girl he wasn't married to because of the South.
Yeah, that always works out well for people.
Yeah, so so they were supposed to get married, and then I found out like the parents thought they had broken up and was like, "Good, we didn't want you marrying that girl anyways." And he was like, "Guys, you know I'm really gonna marry her, right?" And they said, "No, you're not.
You're
have
not
to
that
wait-
dumb.
You have to wait another year." Which then he was like, "Well, we could do it in secret," but then he remembered his dad's a cop and can get a hold of public records, so he's like, "Well, I'm not gonna get married." My sister's like, "Well, you're a bitch who doesn't even live with his parents and lets him control his life." So it's great. It's great. It's a good old white trash Romeo and Juliet story.
Terrific.
So now I have literally so I took these days off before I took the permanent manager job, which changed my rotational at work again. So instead of having 3 days off, it turns out I took the days off in the middle of what is my Monday, Tuesday. So I have Monday and Tuesday off. And then the wedding was Wednesday. So I was like, I got to take the wedding off. And I was like, well, Thursday, I was supposed to meet a friend. So I was like, okay. And then who doesn't want Friday off? And then it turns out my weekend off is after that. So I was like, well, all right, guess somebody's getting a week off.
Hell yeah.
Woo! Yeah, but it was fucking gold. Like it was fucking gold. The thing is like that sister hasn't told me yet. I found it out from the other sister. When I was like, "Hey Sarah, happy birthday! I'll see you next week," and she's like, "Oh no, the wedding's canceled. Didn't you know?"
Man.
Wow. You know
Yeah,
what's funny about that to me is
What is-
I knew going into my first marriage that this was a horrible mistake and that I should not marry this person, that we should not be together, and she's a fucking crazy person. But I had way too much shame.
Drink? Oh,
I had way too much shame, and I could not let myself not go through with it because I did not want to deal with the embarrassment of calling off a wedding. I couldn't deal with the shame, you see. And then I hear stories like this and go, I'm a fucking idiot.
you know, it's even like I actually felt like a real dick when I was talking to my boss lady. I'm like, not gonna lie, like I said, it sucks that the wedding's canceled, but I'm kind of annoyed that I wasn't told. So now this is really just inconvenient. And she's like, "Aren't you gonna ask your sister if she's okay?" I'm like, "Oh yeah." I was gonna get to that. I was just really annoyed at the fact that I wasn't told, and I still haven't been told that the wedding was off. So for all I know, I'm gonna show up on Wednesday with Nick, the guy who I need to get on this podcast as my date.
Everybody take a drink.
Because I couldn't find a female date, so I was just going to bring him and have my dad still think I'm gay for laughs. Yeah, it's great. Which, by the way, he's moving up to Bowling Green. So,
real quick about relatives thinking you're gay because you have a male friend. I remember my buddy Chuck, who I've talked about on this podcast a couple of times. Just because he's my music buddy. He was the one I used to go to concerts with and everything, and. He came over for like one Easter, and I was like, okay. And I pulled out a chair, and I'm like, all right, you can sit here. And it was sitting next to me. Now, mind you, this is Easter Sunday. My mom's family is over, and I'm like, sit next to me. And I don't know if you guys think that's weird or not, but to me it made sense, seeing as he's my friend and doesn't know the rest of my family. right?
Yeah.
That would make sense.
Else?
Yeah, why would he sit next to anybody else? Well, I will refer to her as Aunt Classless, as I have referred to her many times to other people as Aunt Classless. Aunt Classless proceeds to say, "What are you two fucking gay? You got to sit next to each other?"
Oh, jeez.
My friend's like, "So this is Easter at your house, eh?" All right. We'll get back to story time a little with Robert Cooper just a little bit. Jesse, why don't you cue up that funky music, white boy, and give me some of that last chance for love. I said it's a last chance. Play the fucking song, or I'm going to keep singing. Last chance, romance.
Between you and me, no, I won't let it go any further. Is it my time? Come and tell me, how will I know? It's got me thinking, how far can I go? I'm still dreaming, yes, I'm believing. Gotta keep on moving while my heart's still beating. This is my action. I won't make no sudden chance. Don't wanna do it over again. You know that I would do it the same. This is my last chance. I won't make no sudden chance. I don't wanna do it over again. You know that I would do it the same. Oh yes, I would. I tried to use up all my lives, no, I could try.
Last chance, romance. Actually, last dance, but that's okay. Yeah, it's a great rockin' tune. Definitely getting a real fun, alt metal vibe from this album. And again, if I knew nothing else about them, that would be quite sufficient. I mean, I'm really having a good time listening to it. I listened to it earlier today, driving to and from work, and I was having a good old time. Last Chance, a good solid song. I mean, I know what Robert's going to say. It's nothing special, and he's not wrong, but it's still fun, still pleasant to my ears. Robert Cooper?
They're just putting words in my mouth.
Oh.
And I actually thought it was pretty fun and groovy. Like, it's got me bebopping.
This whole
Like
thing's got me bebopping, because you know why? Because that's
Why
my
is that?
jam!
Oh,
I
jeez.
thought there was a cat on the toilet.
The cat. Meow.
Flushing the toilet. So, 2 reviews I read talked about cheerleaders. Okay? For some reason, they call, we get to hear the ladies doing the cheer, and that's my jam. And also here in Last Chance. I don't know if they're giving Skindred a hard time for doing this. I don't know if this is something they just never done in their previous albums, but that's something that has come up, at least stuck out to a couple reviewers who said, okay, the cheerleaders are back. But again, as for the song itself, this is one of the more unique tracks off the album, where we got the rock, we got the cheerleaders, as everybody's talking about, and then at the end, this is the one that has the rap sequence. Towards the end. I don't know if you caught that, but they throw in some rap there at the end, and it's, again, I think it's one of the better songs off of the album. I can bob my head to it. This, to me, we're getting ready to get into the second half of this album. I think a lot of, other than one more song, I think this album's pretty front-loaded here. We get a lot of really good songs here at the beginning, and then as we go towards the end, then Tings, I don't know if they become samey. Tings might become samey for me, or it may just be the fact that they're not as good as these first ones.
Or it might just not be your ting.
It might not be my ting,
Hang on.
The thing is,
The ting is that it might not be your ting. Come here, horsey. Go on.
All right. So yeah, I mean, I dig the song.
Robert, were you trying to say something, or was it more of the horsey bit?
I was doing the horsey bit, and then my cat meowed. So if you're wondering what that other sound was, it was my cat meowing.
We didn't hear it, but was he trying to flush the toilet? He's a cat.
No, well, actually, when she had four legs, she loved to do it.
Why does your cat not have 4 legs?
Because she had cancer, and we amputated one.
I remember that story.
I don't remember that story, but that makes me sad.
Like a kitty. Oh, now she's happy. She's still happy.
She's a happy peg-leg kitty?
Yeah, pretty much.
Terrific. All right, Jesse. Tell me something. Let's hear some more big tings on this album, Jesse. Tell me how you do that thing.
Yeah. Well.
It isn't right for me to grab the wheel. Now we crashed in the pain you feel. Are you happy now? Resting, are you happy now? I thought you were the man of steel. I'm at the bottom and you ain't real. Are you happy now? I'm asking, are you happy now? We should have sailed away across the sea. Beyond the land of destiny, are you happy now? We're asking, are you happy now? Because there's no running away from all that you did and all that we do. There's no running away from all that you did and all that we do.
I really like that song. I mean, hello. I really like that song. I mean, is it, your standard metal rock album fare? No, but at least we finally, 5 songs into it, get a little bit of that reggae feel that the band is known for. And, again, novelty is a thing, as I like to say on Damn You Hollywood, even though Robert Winfrey sometimes disagrees with me about that. But
Robert Winfrey disagrees with you?
Yeah, the devil, I say, right? No, not Robert Winfrey. No, I mean, I dug it. I mean, not everything has to sound like Slayer. That's what I have to say. That's my big insight into this album. Not everything sounds like Slayer, or has to. Rob?
I mean, what if everything does sound like Slayer, though?
It'd be a really boring world.
Would that make Slayer Slayer?
No.
I guess I'd still be listening to rap.
Well, I mean, but then rap would sound like Slayer.
Good God.
I mean, if rap sounds like Slayer, are you
Shit.
still listening?
Everything's
my
sound
God.
like Slayer.
If this conversation doesn't end right now, I'm going to insist we all start smoking pot to make it sound better.
Everything sounds like Slayer, and I can't listen to anything then. Ah, damn it.
The day the music died when it all turned to Slayer.
Damn you, Slayer.
Poor Slayer. Robert Cooper, what'd you think of this song?
I did enjoy it. It almost had like a... Is that odd to say it? I felt kind of ballady in a way.
Nah,
no, I would agree with that.
I mean, but it had enough mixing it up to where I felt like it was different. It's something I hadn't really heard a whole lot of.
I just want to know why he kept asking the brisket if it's happy now. Why does he care what the brisket thinks?
Because if your food is happy, you're happy.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Am I the only one that heard?
That's my
Am I the only one
$3
that heard brisket in that song? By the way,
What is a brisket? It's a cow beforehand, right?
what?
Is a brisket a cow?
Brisket is delicious meat.
I know, but what is it before it becomes the meat?
Oh,
It's a cow,
It's
right?
cow. Yes, it's cow.
Well, clearly he had issues with the cow prior to turning it into a brisket. That's where there was problems, and now he's looking at us. Are you happy now? Are you happy now?
Are you happy now?
Are you happy cow?
Are you happy cow? 10,000 dislikes because I won't acknowledge.
I was on board until they started talking about food and trying to put it into the song. It's ridiculous.
Well, no. What people are going to get mad at me about is because he's clearly saying breastskin, but I heard brisket and won't let it go. And they're like, "You racist! That's not. You know that damn well it's not what he said." Delete your channel, faggot. One guy said it, and I won't let it go all these months later.
Here's what you need to do, Mark. We've talked about the dramatic readings of children's books. No,
Yes.
sir. It's dramatic readings of YouTube comments on our channel.
Oh God, I'll start with the stupid comments I got for our Jurassic World review. Jesus.
What was it? They should all burn to the ground or something like that.
No, nobody likes Jurassic World. Just kill it and let it die. I was like, the $1 billion that it made disagrees with you, but okay, sure.
I enjoyed Jurassic World. I just heard the new one was really fucking stupid, and it looked really fucking stupid. So why would I go see it for full dollars?
I mean, it was stupid, but you know what? It still made over $1 billion, and it's going to continue to make $1 billion. So whatevs.
And the Transformers movies did too. Actually, I think they all did, didn't they?
Oh, but Eskin, are you happy now?
No, I'm not happy cow.
Brisket.
Brisket, are you happy?
Oh boy!
Now, if we're done here pissing off our few listeners that we do have,
Our 7 listeners.
Jesse, you got anything reasonably intelligent to add to this discussion?
No, absolutely not. No, as for tell me, it's not Skindred enough for me to say this is definitely not my jam. How's that? Clearly, it is not my jam. Not my jam.
Not my jam. We're silly people. All right.
Not my jam. I think I told you, Sam, I am.
No.
It's not my jam. I told you, Sam, I am. That's funny.
Would you eat it with a Trisket? Would you eat it with a brisket?
All right, if I recall, this next one, Loud and Clear, is also high up on my list on this album. If I remember correctly, I really like this one a lot. So let's, okay, Jesse, let's hear it.
We got to make a connection now and hear my London calling. No time for no laughing. Size them boot, them your Dr. Martin. Could have gone back, prefer to be free. Something I don't wanna say. Babylon all around me. Babylon all around me.
I love that song. Whoop, whoop. It's so good.
Under the police.
Whoop, whoop. And finally,
Under the beast.
whoop, whoop. And finally, this is authentic Skindred. This is what the band's all about. This is what all the people came. You might even say that loud and clear. Hang on. That's my jam.
I was like, is no laughing matter?
Nope, had to play the horse sound. Yeah, man, that's one of my favorite off of this. That's my jam, and this one are just really rocking tunes. And just as somebody who's, I don't love reggae, to be honest with you. I really don't. It's not my favorite thing to listen to. I don't hate it. There's a couple of island girls, man, that like to play the reggae in the clinic that I work, in the jail that I work in. And like I've never said turn it off. I've never said it's bad. One guy was rapping about marijuana, but he kept calling it green soda, and I assumed it was, and I thought he was talking about Mountain Dew because I'm white.
Well, I would make the same assumption. Wait a second.
He went on in this song for a good 5 minutes about clean soda, and I'm like, what is the big attachment to Mountain Dew? What's going on? And I was like, silly white boy, he's talking about marijuana, don't you know? And I was like, oh.
Why is he talking about cream soda?
Yeah.
Cream soda.
And brisket.
Cream soda and brisket. It's no laughing matter.
No, it's not.
Authentic Jamaican cuisine, man.
Get the chicken.
Yes, the Jamaicans are known for their fucking cream soda and brisket.
Briskets.
No.
Well,
hashtag delete your channel, faggot. All right. Anyway, I love that song. I want more. I want more of Loud and Clear.
Yeah.
What'd you think of it, Jesse?
I was going to say, this is the return to the reggae metal that you could feel, that authentic Jamaican sound, it feels like, anyway. I think it was all right. I don't know about the lyrics. I'm not on the correct website to look those up because most of these are missing. But regardless, I don't know. Sometimes the lyrics, as much as we just poked fun at them, I can understand what they're saying, but I don't understand. He's not being funny at all. And I'm like, okay, well, you don't have to be funny. I don't understand why you're so serious here, but I don't know. I've just
clearly he's trying to say something in the song, and and when somebody says I'm not trying to be funny, it's that they're trying to make a very serious point. They're trying to get your attention on something that seems something to them. So and without knowing anything else about the song, that would be the assumption I'd have to make. I'd have to make it. Make it mon.
And judge it by the title as well. So
yeah.
But anyway, it's okay. It's all right. I think this latter half of the album.
It's all right. Fuck all day. Fuck. Sorry.
Yeah, that's exactly where I was going. Robert Cooper.
As I'm listening to this album, all I can think of is Shaggy, the rapper, not the guy from Scooby Doo.
Oh,
I was thinking the guy from Insane Clown Posse. You were thinking of Shaggy 2 Dope.
Nah, Shaggy too dope. Whoa. Oh, God, really?
Well, it wouldn't be a Metal Hammer of Doom if we didn't reference the Insane Clown Posse at least once.
When have we ever referenced the Insane Clown Posse?
I've been poked fun at quite a few times, Robert Cooper. You may not have been on said podcasts. But I know plenty of Insane Clown Posse, and Mark Radledge shames me every time.
Oh, God, I am disappointed.
No, don't you start in on my shit.
Fuck you,
Leave me alone.
Fuck you, Robert Cooper. Yep. Go back to working and missing 6 shows in a row.
Damn it.
Was it really 6?
It's been quite a few. You missed Kid Rock. You missed... God, I don't remember the last show you were on.
It was before Kid Rock, right before Kid Rock. Hell, I don't have them in front of me. I'd tell you. I do need to bring up the old spreadsheet so I can get ready to rate this album. I didn't rate last week's because last week's was 2017's Kid Rock, so that doesn't count for this year. By the way.
How was Old Kid Rock, by the way?
It
I didn't think it was bad.
It was half a country album. Which we got a comment on on my YouTube page about that.
Did we now?
Yeah, it wasn't delete your page, faggot, though.
Okay, it wasn't. They weren't upset with us. Dude, if anything, if you want to listen to anything off that album, you're listening to Grandpa's Rap. Was that what it was called?
Yeah, Grandpa's
Rap.
Is either Grandpa's Rap or Grandpa's Jam or something like that. That's Grandpa's Jam.
That's my jam.
That's my just shaking.
I spent all last year canning that.
That's pretty good.
That's my jam.
Strawberry preserves. All right.
My buddy didn't die in Vietnam for this shit.
All right, so let's move this along. All right.
This is my jam. Damn.
Have you seen that stuff between my toes? That's my jam. All right.
Oh, that's Toe Jam.
Yo.
That's
No
Toe
jam, where's Earl?
I was
Good
waiting for
one.
someone. I was waiting for someone to make a Toe Jam and Earl joke.
Please do. What
I
states?
guess you know
All
it
right.
well.
This is not a Pearl Jam song. This is called Alive.
Learn something for myself. No matter where the trouble and strife, the vibe where you give sets me alive. Alive. I've been a chain on the place we must survive. Using all we got inside. If your heart is beating, you're alive. Yes, you're alive. You touch me, and I feel like I'm alive. I know we can't start it again. No one ever could have do that, my friend. Now keep your fist pumping once again. Cause we're alive. I've been a chain on the place we must survive. Using all we got inside. If your heart is beating, you're alive. Yes, you're alive. You touch me, and I feel like I'm alive.
What a romantic notion. You touch me and I feel like I'm alive. Wish I had a girl I could say that to.
Right, Melissa?
Yeah, let's put her back on there.
She's sleeping and she's not going to listen to this podcast. Anywho, no, but I love that. I love the thought behind that lyric. You know, you touch me and I feel like I'm alive. I dig that. I love it a lot. Again, you got the reggae stylings in this song. It's great stuff.
They have a mixed bag of stuff that they're bringing to the table here. I mean, we got some really hard rocking stuff. We got some really catchy tunes, and then we have a love song, which is a bit different. If anything, this Big Tings. No, it is not. It is not a biography on Lars's snare drum. Okay, it's not. That's not it.
Big dings.
No, it is a great mixed variety of Skindred feel and a Skindred songs. So there you go. I mean, it's kind of all over the board. You would peg. Sometimes you try to fit somebody into a certain, what do you want to say here? A certain hole, a certain pinhole. Boy, I've totally lost every amount.
I don't know what the fuck you're talking
English
about.
language. What do you call it when you try to put somebody into a category that they Do not
Pigeonhole?
fin. Thank you,
Pigeonhole.
pigeonhole. There's a hole involved. I remember that.
Unlike most of the things in my life.
So anyway, poor Coop. Anyway, you can't pigeonhole these guys. How's that, Coop? I turn it over to you.
You didn't say you can't
I'm done.
cornhole them.
You can't put
cornhole these guys.
you can't put a round peg in a square hole. Hit it, Darren.
Oh boy, hit it, Darren.
I feel like we need to explain to him what "hit it, Darren" means. You want to
boy.
take that one? You want to take that one, Jess?
Here
I
to do
tell
to
you
you.
You give no. The thing is, I know I could do it. I could probably play the gag reel on the podcast right now if we had to, just the way I have things set up. But we'll do it this way. All right,
This way,
Robert
we'll do it.
Cooper. Robert Cooper, do you know who Darren Cross is? Do you remember the villain in Ant-Man?
yes.
The Yellow Jacket. Okay. Well, we covered Ant-Man in it was Ant-Man Second Chance Man. Darren Cross, lo and behold, according to Mark Radulich, okay, quote unquote Mark Radulich, Darren Cross is a large pink human being, I guess you would say, very large, all right, to where he almost resembles the Hulk in some way, or as Mark Radulich put it, the
LGBTQ.
Hulk. That is what he's pink-skinned LGBTQ Hulk is what Mark coined him as. So things got out of control on the podcast to where we decided that his method of fighting was with rave music and dance, or excuse me, glow sticks.
No, he
and
flipped
dance
around.
moves.
Dude, I had a dude in high school that used to do that in the middle of class until the teacher finally called him into the hall and was like, put that fucking shit away. That kid used to kick me like every day in the bad leg and be like,
the
oh,
bad
you're not
leg?
going to hit me back. Yeah, because he was a dick.
Ass.
And he was like, oh, what are you going to do, hit me back? I'm like, no, you're not fucking worth my time. Steel toed, too.
What an ass. Well, so anytime you hear us say "hit it, Darren," that is precisely what we're referencing. Darren Cross will come
Gay
out of
Hulk.
nowhere, drop out, the disco ball will hit, lights will start flashing, and Darren Cross goes to town with some rave music. There you go. So if you hear...
I mean, I've said it a couple of times now. I feel like he should have been in on the gag.
I'm telling you what, dude. There was a gag reel that was probably the most epic gag reel source material ever produced because Mark Radulich lost his shit for approximately 5 minutes. We even tried to move on, and then he still is giggling his ass off.
I was. I could not keep it together.
About passed out. You about passed out on the podcast. Anyway, so there you go. Hit It Darren has now become a lexicon. Is that the correct word?
Yes.
Of Radulich and Broadcasting Network history. So there we go. All right, what are we doing now?
Right.
If I said anything about Alive, I said it. Yeah, I said it.
Yeah.
I'm done.
The entire time I was listening to this song, I'm like, wow, Skindred went kind of pop punk.
Yeah,
I-
but they still got that reggae beat.
Yeah. Just when I was listening to it, just like the lyrical content, the kind of synthesized sort of sound to it, I'm like, yep, this feels like middle school.
I feel you.
I was
What is
in the,
our-
I like me some pop punk back then. I mean, I could still get down with it, but like, yeah.
I'm trying to find out what our lead singer's name is. I swear I saw it earlier.
Shaggy.
No, it's not Shaggy.
It's fucking Shaggy.
And they got me on the counter. Wasn't me.
Friday eat the biscuit. It wasn't me.
It wasn't me.
Bacon jerk chicken.
It wasn't me.
Jeez, gravity. You guys and your fucking racism. Benji, that's his name. I knew it was a unique name, Benji. He could turn on the Jamaican, and he could turn it off. So he definitely turned it on in here. At least that Jamaican feel.
He's not Jamaican.
He's not Jamaican, no sir.
Making me crazy.
Oh God. I just want to apologize to both of you in advance because there are people listening to this show who might just see you in the street and punch you dead in the face, and you'll never see it coming. And I feel like it's my fault.
Mark Radulich.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's your network, sir.
Indeed.
Your own undoing.
No, I am prepared to take whatever comeuppance comes from any one of these shows. There's no problem there.
It's just this, a news story. Jewish man was beaten soundly by many a race. It's like the first ever multi-race.
And the races were all brought together as they decided to beat the hell out of this one asshole on the internet.
South Park for the it's like that episode of South Park where they have the flag. There's a bunch of white guys standing around them hanging a black guy. So the way to change the flag was to have all the races stand around where they're hanging the black guy.
That's right. It all brought them together. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Why not?
I don't watch that show. That's ridiculous.
Right.
I've never heard of such a thing.
I'm not a big South Park guy, but I do remember that, and it was pretty. And I was like, yeah, that sounds about right.
All right, we're dangerously close to the end of this album here, so let's get to it. Jesse, I want you to play a little song called All This Time. That one was pretty good. Wasn't great, but I mean, look, the whole album is on the better side of awesome, but not every song is equal, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So it was pretty good. It was solid. It was decent. Might even say it's mediocre. Robert?
For some reason, when it opened up, all I could think of was Skillet.
Like the kitchen utensil?
No, like that, Jesus-y rock band. Skillet.
Oh, okay.
Cooking with Metal Hammer of Doom.
Cooking with Uncle Maki.
Tonight we're gonna make authentic Jamaican cuisine, cream soda and brisket.
With all the blah blah.
I cannot wait to go into work on Friday and see my island friends and be like, so, we did an entire podcast where I decided that your authentic cuisine was cream soda and brisket.
Oh.
And just to get the blank stare that I'm bound to get from that.
You'd be like, your blood clot.
If I
I only know of that phrasing from playing GTA 4.
Great.
Well, okay. So I think this is on the back half of this album, I like this song probably more than the rest. It's good for what it is. It's rockin' tune in my opinion, and it keeps. I think that if anybody's listened to this podcast can understand that I appreciate it a lot more when you can you speed up things and at least make it sound somewhat palatable. I enjoy all this time. And then I'll wash it down with a little bit of green soda, man. All right.
Oh, come on.
I like green soda.
Soda, soda.
I knew what that was. I caught that reference. I met him in his swamp down in Dagobah, where it bubbles all the time like a giant carbonated soda. I like green soda. All right. Anything else? Anything else about this?
Man, we love you, Skindred. Don't go thinking that we are in any way besmirching your name. We appreciate the music that you are putting out.
More importantly, we share content with Sean Garmer's W2M network, and I independently of everything else, I reached out to him today because I wanted to ask him a question about Spotify and our podcast and everything. But I took a moment and I said, "Hey, I just want to make sure everything's okay," because I know the kind of content I'm putting out, and.
Compared to the professional guys over there.
How
do things stack up, Sean?
Compared to the not working blue guys over there. Compared to the not going out of their way to offend people guys over there. I was like, is everything still cool? Are we good? They're like, yeah, we love your guys' stuff. I'm like, all right, cool. Yeah, and then why wouldn't they? It's not their house that's going to get firebombed from some of the shit we talk about. So whatever, that's cool.
They got Teasley on a football podcast over there, so we know they can't be.
That's if he's awake.
Very true, man. Very true.
Going out of your way to do a Jamaican accent.
Sorry.
Bushmaster.
Boy, oh boy.
You weren't on that podcast where we talked about Luke Cage. And Bushmaster, man. It's me birthright.
Is that the new? Is that like the Mega Man 11 villain?
Bushmaster.
With the Robot Masters.
No, he's the new villain from Luke Cage. In Harlem is his birthright.
Gets all the pussy. He's the Bushmaster.
I was thinking it. I'm like, no, that's too lowbrow a joke. Thank you, Jesse.
No, sir, not for this show. Don't go getting a conscience.
All right, I think we're up to broken glass. I've lost our place.
Yes.
Terrific.
It's a really good Crowbar song.
Terrific. Everybody in Crowbar is fat, really fat. They all have their own orbit. All right, broken glass. Here we go.
That's the way I look at it.
You talked about the album being front-loaded. I listened to you say that, and I thought, in a way, I agree with you in the sense that they front-loaded the album with a lot more of the poppy, more mainstream-sounding stuff, which is fine, and I don't mind that they did that. This back half is a little uneven for me. Not that they're bad songs, but I wish they had sort of picked a theme as such, because I feel like if they had loaded the back with more of the reggae sounding stuff and just stayed with that, I'd have been like, okay, cool, I'm good with this. But they're all over the fucking board here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, and this song, it's not bad. It's just not anything. You know what I mean? It's just kind of there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, for me, compared to the rest of this back half of the album, I think I like this and all this time. Was that the last one? No, that was the love song, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I can't remember now.
The last one is Saying It Now.
Okay. So, anyway, I like Broken Glass. I think it sticks out on the back half of the album. I don't think it's like you said, it's all over the place. So it's kind of hard to say, okay, well, this fits here, because the next song we're getting is like, hey, I hope you got high at the beginning of this album, because you're going to start crying in just about a couple more minutes when we play the last song. We take things out on a downer. But regardless, I think Broken Glass, if this was my album, I'm taking song 10 off of here, and Broken Glass would be what I would end it with, most likely. So, Coop?
This had more of an electronica vibe to it, in my opinion. I mean, I found it interesting. This album is one that I will definitely say just does maintain my interest just based off of what it offers differently. And I dig it. It's pretty solid so far, and fun.
All right, let's close her on out here with our final.
Grab your tissues.
I got to be honest with you. I like turning this one. I turned this song off halfway through and put on the "Coffee Is for Closers" speech from Glengarry Glen Ross.
I don't get the reference.
Wish you didn't put on the "Cookies Are for Closers" speech from the Boss Baby.
You've never seen Glengarry Glen Ross?
I have not.
Nor have I seen Boss Baby, because I don't really care for a Donald Trump cartoon.
Oh, it was fine.
Does it start? It stars Glengarry Glen Close, right?
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Waka waka. No, I'm really
delete your podcast.
No, 420 deleted faggot.
Glengarry, there's a very famous monologue from Glengarry Glen Ross.
Glengarry Glen Ross.
Where Alec, God, is there a way to play something off of YouTube in your current setup?
I can try. If you want me to try, I'll gladly do it.
Yeah, we'll play. I don't know if you can. Can you play the song and then look for something on YouTube for me?
Yes.
Okay. Play the song, and then about halfway through, cut it off like I did out of boredom, and then immediately jump into "The Coffee Is for Closers."
Okay, here we go. I'm going to give it my best shot. What's the name of the song again?
Saying It Now.
Tell them that you love them while they're here. Tell them while you got the chance. Always thought that you'd be here. I never imagined the world without you. I put off what I could do today.
The rich get richer, that's the law of the land. Who belongs to the BM?
It is 7:30.
So who is that?
And where's Mr. Roman?
Well, I'm not a leash, so I don't know, do I?
Let me have your attention for a moment. Because you're talking about what? You're talking about bitching about that sale you shot. Some son of a bitch don't want to buy land. Somebody don't want what you're selling. Some broad you're trying to screw, so forth. Let's talk about something important. Are they all here?
All but one.
Well, I'm going anyway. Let's talk about something important. Put that coffee down. Coffee's for closers only. You think I'm fucking with you? I am not fucking with you. I'm here from downtown. I'm here from Mitch and Murray. And I'm here on a mission of mercy. Your name's Levine. Yeah. You call yourself a salesman, you son of a bitch? I don't gotta listen to this shit. You certainly don't, pal. Because the good news is you're fired. The bad news is you've got just 1 week to regain your job, starting with tonight. Starting with tonight's sit. Oh, have I got your attention now? Good. Because we're adding a little something to this month's sales contest. As you all know, first prize is a Cadillac Eldorado. Anybody want to see second prize? Second prize is a set of steak knives. Third prize is you're fired. You get the picture? You laughing now? You got leads. Mitch and Murray paid good money. Get their names to sell them. You can't close the leads you're given. You can't close shit. You are shit. Hit the bricks, pal, and beat it, because you are going out.
The leads are weak.
The leads are weak. Fucking leads are weak. You're weak. I've been in this business 15 years.
What's your name?
Fuck you. That's my name. You know why, mister? Because you drove a Hyundai to get here tonight. I drove an $80,000 BMW. That's my name.
How awesome is that, Jesse?
Call me Toggle McToggerson, yeah. Okay, so here's the thing. When I play stuff for you, I can't hear it. So I had to put on the closed captions. I caught the last stuff.
So if anyone ever said, "Hey, have you ever seen the coffee used for closure speech?" You're just gonna go, "Fuck you, that's my name."
That's pretty much what I got out of it. Okay, now here's the thing. What is that movie about? Is that about, like, because clearly it looked like that was Alec Baldwin giving them a pep talk about selling knives?
No,
something?
it was selling real estate.
Selling real estate. Exactly. Yeah. That's where I was going with. Glenn Close is not in the movie, just from what I could see.
No,
but
she isn't.
Al Pacino, Jack Lemmon, Alec Baldwin, Ed Harris, Alan Arkin, and Kevin Spacey. That's a fucking lineup, man.
Yeah, no, it's Glenn Ross is a very famous movie, and that's probably the most famous speech from that movie. That gets quoted a lot. I mean, I don't know if anyone's ever told you, "Fuck you, that's my name," but that's where they got it from.
I drive an $80,000 BMW. I did see that.
If tomorrow morning when you go into work, Jesse, if somebody goes for the coffee, just walk up to them and go, "Put that coffee down. The coffee is for closers," and walk away. Don't explain yourself. Just walk away.
They'll know exactly what I'm talking about.
Or they won't, and it won't matter.
It won't, because where's that from? I'll be like, I don't know. I have no idea.
Fuck you, that's my name.
Fuck you, that's where it's from. Did we lose Coop? I think we lost Coop.
We sure did, Ollie.
Damn it, Cooper. Come back for one show. Can't even fucking stick around for the whole thing.
Well, let's wrap this up.
I'm ready.
Let's do this. I'm going to give this a solid A. Fantastic album. Really enjoyed it. Even the stuff that's not as strong as some of the better stuff on here is still good. There's nothing that's bad on here. Some stuff is stronger than the other. I don't know if it's the best representation of Skindred, but it's definitely their most mainstream, most fun-sounding album I've heard. And I've really gone out of my way to try to listen to as much of their catalog as I can, if for no other reason to find some good videos for us to talk about on the Metal Hammer of Doom Extra. Top five for me by far, might even be top 3.
Wow, that is impressive ratings right there, sir. Big Tings. Big Tings, Mark
Big
Ravlich.
Tings, Jesse Starcher. Big Tings.
Big Tings. I'm not as high on this compared to the rest of our catalog that we have covered for this year. Unfortunately, this does not hold as much replay value as many of the other albums that's come before it. So it's going to find a lower status out of the 23, and I know it needs to be 24, but hey, out of the 23 albums that I've got listed here, it's going to end up number 17 above Monster Magnet and right below Leaves Eyes. So, listen, one single off of here, I just said it, it's the biggest single of the year so far. That's My Jam, can get played anywhere, and people, women, children, and men alike are going to be dancing, shaking their booties to a fine bebopping tune. But the rest of the album, as okay as it is, it's got That's My Jam to live up to, and unfortunately it doesn't. And I just didn't find a whole lot of... And this is clearly personal preference here. So don't go thinking that I speak for everybody else. There is a lot of uniqueness to this album. You've got to be a fan of reggae. You've got to be a fan of mixing that up with metal. A lot of people don't believe that genres like that can coexist in a song. But they did a great job doing so, and they've been doing it since 1998. So, hey, I appreciate what they did. I think they did a great job. It's not going to cut it for me when it comes to what else we've reviewed the rest of this year.
So Robert,
where did the call go?
Let's see if we can get him back.
Where did you go?
So while we're waiting for him to come back, I just want to let you know that Dee Snider did a Broadway album.
That dude has done a lot of stuff.
I need
Drugs,
to hear this. I need
Broadway.
to hear this. And I'm very tempted to make you play some of this now, but I feel like Skindred's not going to make a copyright claim, but Dee Snider might. So I'm just going to save this for myself.
All right then. I was going to say we got. Just let me look here real quick.
Oh, you know what? If you can find it, find Dee Snider, Mac the Knife.
Mac the Knife?
Yes. Surely you've heard the actual Mac the Knife before, haven't you?
Sir.
Have you never gone to a wedding in New York?
That could be it. Mac the Knife. Oh, wait a second. Type that into the chat. Let's type it into Spotify instead and see if I can pull anything up on that. Mac the Knife. I want the knife.
I want the knife.
Oh, shit. I'm going to have to find it somewhere.
Big Tings.
Big Tings. Big Tings. Big Tings, Robert Cooper. Well, okay, I'll tell you what. Let me find it so I can hear it at least, because I know when I play it here, I'm not going to be able to listen. And I doubt captions are going to do me justice. Mac the Knife. So, can you just explain to me, is that like a guy's name? Is this a cover?
It's a cover,
This is a
yes.
cover?
Yeah.
Yeah, because the first thing that comes up is Bobby Darin.
Yep.
Whoa, wait a second. Dee Snider. Big Tings.
Big Tings.
Okay, I'm going to play it here. I'm going to flip it over while you try to get Robert Cooper back on the call, and we'll let our audience enjoy the musical stylings of one Dee Snider. Here we go.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, the shark bait had such teeth, and it shows them early white.
Hey.
I made it.
Had a sight. You know, when that shark bites with his teeth big, scarlet billow starts to spread. Plastic gloves, though, wears old black heat, babe. So there's never trace of red. Now on that sidewalk, cool sunny morning, lies a body just oozing life. And someone sneaking.
Terrific. All right, let's quick do plugs. I feel like I've got two different calls going
I've
here.
got two different
right.
calls.
We're good. All right. That'll do, pig. That'll do. Robert Cooper, quick do your plugs.
Oh boy, that's me. There's this podcast, I'm on it. It's a thing. The Sentire Rider podcast on Facebook at facebook.com/Sentire Rider podcast. It's SENTAIRIDR podcast. It's there. South American stop. W2mnet.com. I don't really write there anymore, but this stuff comes out on it. That's nice. And then scrapingthebottom.com. I don't know if he's releasing anything anymore, but I've tried to invite myself onto a podcast once. That went well. It didn't. I haven't been on there since. So, Roots.
Terrific. Hey, are you coming back next week?
I should be.
Oh, good. It'll be me, you, and Ronnie Adams, and only I can listen to Lords of Black. It'll be great. We'll have to figure something out here. But yeah, next week on the Metal Hammer of Doom, we're going to review Lords of Black: Icons of the New Day. Ronnie Adams will be taking Jesse Starch's place because he's going to go hang out with his wife. Boo, pansy.
How dare he?
20 years, ladies and gentlemen. 20-year anniversary for me and my wife.
Oh.
You guys can't do this on Thursday?
Thanks, Mark. I appreciate the compassion. Thanks for giving me a day off. I get paid days off here on the Rattleitch and Broadcasting Network to go spend with my wife.
I'm just saying, Thursday's just as good as Wednesday.
Is it now? Is that the day that I got married on? Was that the 19th?
Oh,
if I told my wife we got married on July 19th, guess what? Yeah, she would whip my ass because I'm supposed to know this by 20 years now.
I'm just saying,
yeah. Oh yeah, I'll run it by her, Mark. I'll let you know.
I'm just you know what? I have to go see my doctor at Moffitt. I have to go see the thoracic specialist because they found nodules on my lungs last month. And they don't, they don't think it's cancer, but they don't know, and they need me to come in and see the specialist. That's just the way it works, right? What if it turns out that I get bad news and I'm sad and I need you and you're not going to be there for me?
I'm gonna fucking kick your ass, man. I swear. You are a shithead.
What if the cancer comes back? Yeah, cancer comes back. You're not there.
All right, don't do that to him. I was treading thin ice, just doing the bit. I take it all back, Jesse. You have a lovely time with your wife.
I appreciate that. I won't be thinking of you at all. How's that?
Much appreciated. You know what's funny? During that whole bit, I was looking at my calendar, and I was going to go into go Thursday. I'm going to be out seeing The Purge with my buddy from work, and I'm realizing that's tomorrow, not next Thursday. Next Thursday, I'll be on a plane to New York. So
New York.
Right.
New York. It's a wonderful town. All right, plugs. That's what we were doing. So check out our Ant-Man stuff that we did this week. We did Ant-Man Volume 1, Second Chance Man on source material.
Otherwise known as Hit It, Darren.
Yeah. Robert Winfrey and I screamed at each other for a solid hour when we reviewed Ant-Man and the Wasp. I didn't think such a light movie would breed such contention, but there it was. An hour later, I was exhausted. I was exhausted doing a podcast with
Could
him.
y'all possibly be yelling about with Ant-Man and the Wasp?
That's what I said. But go listen
That's
to
so
it.
funny, that came up.
Next week, we've got Incredible Hulk's Planet Savage / The Spy Who Smashed Me. Robert Winfrey and I hopefully will not scream at each other for an hour straight when we review Skyscraper featuring Dwayne The Rock Johnson and Jesse. And then on Wednesday, we're going to do a special podcast. What's going on with Jesse and his wife? We'll turn on the recorder and we'll listen to them have their anniversary date.
Okay. Sounds great. She'll love that. That's a great idea.
Yeah, no, just be natural. It'll be fine.
Oh yeah, okay.
Just remember, don't bring up making fun of your friend's dog being dead.
Anyway,
I just went on a date and I didn't get a second one for some reason.
Oh,
hey,
Coop.
Robert Cooper. So aside from next Wednesday, what are you off on the 24th?
What's the 24th?
Well, we're doing a TV party tonight for Voltron seasons 5 and 6. You might want to be a part of it if you're not working.
I'll have to look at my schedule.
Ugh. Okay.
The schedule.
All right, that's all from me. I'm exhausted. I want to go to bed. Jesse, take us home.
All right, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Three Tings. 3 web pages that you should go check out. That's right. You should go check out, number one, the Rattlich in Broadcasting Facebook page. You can stay up on top of all the great podcasts that we have to offer. Lots of great content. That's where it finds its home, right there. So you can check that out, stay up on top of all the great content that is on the Rattlich and Broadcasting Network. Number two, go give the Source Material YouTube page a like, and you can stay up on top of all the great Metal Hammer of Doom extras that get dropped. For me and Mark, sit down, watch a video, or 3, or 10, and then we talk about them. And you can watch along as we do a commentary of the video as it plays. That's right. We're in the YouTubes now. And then third and finally, I'll give a shout-out to the boys over at the Unspoken Decade. If you like 90s comics, I am a contributor over there. And as far as I know, my status has not changed. So I'll go ahead and continue to plug their website as well, since I do a comic book podcast on here, and I should be doing one over there in probably about 11 days. So keep your eye out on that. If you like 90s comics, that's the place to go. Other than that, ladies and gentlemen, I bid you adieu. Mark Rattlich, take us home.
All right, folks, it's been a time. Be well, be safe, and behave.
Welcome to the Total Wireless Store, where total confidence awaits.
I need a smartphone with an awesome camera. Got anything to fit a new dad's budget?
Don't worry, you got this with Total Wireless. And now you can get $50 off on select phones $99 and up.
My relatives won't miss a thing.
Now you can focus on the important stuff, like diaper duty.
Discover the Total Wireless stores and get total confidence. The latest phones, the best network, all at great prices. Now open in Miami.
Limited time offer in 6/30/18. Available while supplies last. Porting required for a non-track phone brand. Offer only available at Total Wireless stores. Visit store for details.